What's up, this is JC with Modern Warfare, and today I'm going to review some really good movies made by four very good people in music history, and of course they are the Beatles. And the first film I got here, and these are just two because I don't have every single one. First one is A Hard Day's Night, which was, I think it was their first movie. I'm not too sure about that. I know it's in black and white, so I'm guessing it was their first movie. And then we have here the Beatles' Help. This one I don't own. This one belongs to the library, and they don't like it when you show what library it's from, because I've tried it before on not YouTube but my Facebook, and they found it and they said, please delete your video. So this film is this is a good film also, and there's really no plot behind this movie. It's just a fun type of movie, and this doesn't really have a plot behind it. It's like they travel on a train. Paul has this her grandfather. His name's, I think, Wilfred Bramble, I think is his name, and that was his fictional grandfather. And all four of these guys are traveling to I think it's London, and to put on a show, and the grandfather's like a like a troublemaker. He's not a very good person. He dresses clean and everything, but inside he's really kind of a bad person. Then, of course, it has George, John, and Ringo, all the Beatles, and it's a pretty good movie. The back, I took the cover off, and because it was it ripped, so I took it off. And of course, it's rated G. It's only 92 minutes. It's only an hour and 32 minutes. It's not very long, but I still like it. This is a black and white movie, so I'm guessing it was way before some of these other ones. So this comes out of here. Then you just have this, and then you have, I think, your scene selections, your chapter selections, and then here you got your titles. Then you got this. Wait a sec. This one says 88 minutes. If you look close, 88. And then on this one, it says 92. So they messed that up. So it's actually an hour, and so I don't know which one it is. But if you guys know the exact time, please let me know. Just reply. Of course, you have this, and then this opens up to see the Beatles in the final concert scene. Picture of Paul McCartney, and then here's the first disc. Take it out. Here's the first disc. Then picture of George Harrison. Let me check. Let me see which is behind this one. Here's the second disc. I'll show you the discs in a minute. There's Ringo, and then there's John. It's pretty cool. And then now we have the discs. One's white, one's black. I think the black one's the second disc, and the white one's the first disc. Yep. Now the second disc, I think, has some of the making in it, and I don't know if they'll have any of the Beatles in their interviews for A Hard Day's Night. And just a very good movies. And some people get, and I really like, just a lot of people get John and Paul mixed up, or George and Paul. I used to get George and Paul mixed up until I recognized their instruments, and that's how I recognize them now, their instruments. John has that really thin looking electric guitar. I mean, you can find those today still, in the same design, but it's really thin, looks just thin. And then Ringo has those cool, that small drum set. It's not very big, and has, of course, Beatles written on the front. George, I think, had two or three guitars. He had that acoustic one that he used in the film as well. I think it was the song I don't know if it was "And I Love Her" or if it was "If I Fell." If any of you guys know, let me know, please. But he has this guitar, and then in the film Help, he used a different kind. That's the one he used on the Ed Sullivan Show, if you watch it. And then Paul, of course, has the viola bass, which I know is called I don't know how to pronounce the name. I think it's Honifer or something. It's a company out of Germany, and so I just call it the viola bass because it's the easiest thing for me to remember it. And so that's A Hard Day's Night. And then at the end, I'll recommend which one would be better to watch. Moving on to Help. Now, Help actually has a plot. Help, it's like Ringo. If you look at Ringo when he's drumming or whatever, he always has he has rings on each of his fingers. And if you look close on the cover, you'll see a little red dot on his hand. And in this film, Ringo's like, it's like at the beginning there's this guy, his name is Clang, he's like this priest, and they like do human sacrifices and stuff, even though no one's killed in the film, because it's again, I think it's G-rated. Yeah, it's G-rated again, so they can't have any killing in a G-rated movie. And I think there is like guns and stuff, but like they don't show like people being shot and killed like on screen or anything. They just like show a gun going off and people getting scared, or else they fire it in the air or something, but that's pretty much it. And so back to the plot. So this guy, like, they do like the human sacrifices, and right before he's about to sacrifice this girl, the high priestess, I don't know how to pronounce her name really, but I think in the movies her name is Ami, and she tries to save the people who have the ring, and she saved her sister by taking the ring off, and then I think they mailed it. Someone else had it, and then they mailed it to Ringo, and then because Ringo loves rings, then he has the ring now. And then if you watch the intro credits to Help, when he's drumming, you see the big ring. I got it up right here. And thanks for uploading this video too. If you look closely, you can see the ring on his hand. And I love this song. And then there's George's other guitar too. Right there. So I thought I'd just play a little bit of that, and yeah, it's pretty much the same. I rented this from the library, and someone like rubbed chocolate on the booklet, so I wasn't really able to read it. First I thought it was like poop or something, but then I smelled it and it was chocolate, and I looked more deeper into it and it was chocolate. And I don't know why they did that, but must have either not like the Beatles or just did to me. Here's the first disc to Help. And here's the second disc. So back to the plot of Help. Okay, so he has the ring, and now he's gonna be the next sacrifice, basically. And Ringo and at first they try to steal the ring by like, I think the first one's like they try and use like metal. I don't know, like magnet things or whatever that pulls metal off, but the ring that won't come off, it's stuck on his finger. And then one scene he's like in the elevator and he gets stuck to the ceiling and stuff. So, and then I think the second one's like they go to a mailbox, and then the one guy just pulls his hand in and tries to pull it off, but it doesn't work. Or maybe that was the third, I'm not too sure. Oh yeah, the third was the bathroom part, and that was like one of the best parts in the movie Help that made me laugh so hard. When he turns on the water, when he turns I forget what it's called, he turns the hand dryer on and then starts pulling his clothes, and then Paul's has like he's sleeveless and it looks like he's wearing one of those big muscular shirts, and then George